Hello, my name is Lene Brandt, and I'm the headmaster of the Hour School in Esbjerg community in Denmark. I'm invited today to tell you about the different exams we practice in Denmark. The Hour School contains 3 different departments, Røndum, Hjerting, and Sønderris. We have approximately 2,000 students in the age of 6 to 15 years. Each year we have approximately 120 students who participate in the exams after 10 years of school. At the time of the exams, the students are typically 15 years old. Through their time at the Hour School, they have been educated in our school profile craft, creating really advanced future thinkers. Our model for craft is based on 6 items, which you can see at the screen. The first item is to find a real-world problem. Then the students will have to research and to innovate the problem, to design the problem, to make a prototype, and finally pitch the presentation. In the middle of our model, you see reflection, because in each of the 6 items, you have to reflect over your work. When we first introduced this model, we met parents who were extremely interested in their child's character. We still do, but now as a school, we have other perspectives than the grades. We want to develop young people who can reflect over their own skills and over the question, what can I do if I make a failure? We want to develop all parts of becoming a human being. Through our profile, we work with the 21st century skills and especially the 4 C's: creativity, critically thinking, collaboration, and communication. Our students are therefore taught to these 4 areas in 10 years when they have to pass the exams. We think it is an advantage for our students because some of the exams is asking for these skills as well as our school system and our labor market does. And now to the examination forms in Denmark. We practice 5 mandatory exams: written Danish exam, written math exam, oral Danish exam, oral English exam, and oral science exam. Other than that, the students will be examined in 2 extraction subjects. All subjects at the schedule will be divided in the human or the science category, and the students will know which subjects they have exams at right before the last day in school before the exams. It could, for instance, be history from the human category or gymnastics from the science category. And now back to the mandatory exams. The written Danish exam is in 3 parts, and we use 2 days for this exam. At the first day, part 1 and part 2 are carried out. The first part is a spelling part during 1 hour. The teacher will read a text and the students will fill in the missing words. The second part is a reading part. During 30 minutes, the students get different texts they will read in different ways, like skimming or finding information in a text with facts and then answer questions to each text. In both parts, the students are sitting in front of their computer. You might think how we can ensure that the students doesn't cheat. We can't 100%, but the advantage of making the exam digitized overrules the few students we experience cheat at their exam. The students are loyal to the fact that it will be their own problem if they are becoming caught in cheating. At the second day, the third part is carried out. This part is a writing part in 3 hours where the students receive different presentations and then choose the one they like most. In this part, students can choose if they want to have a dialogue in a group with other students in 30 minutes before they enter the exam and write their assignment individually. We allow the students to cooperate, discuss, and be creative together. It's a kind of peer-to-peer learning. We think the students, through their dialogue, learn to use the 4 C's in practice. When we know the 4 C's are worldwide skills in our future, it is a natural thing to incorporate in the exam. If the students choose to participate in a dialogue, they will have 3.5 hours to exam instead of 3 hours. The student choose whether they want to participate in this dialogue or not before the day of the exam. It is a possibility that some students participate in the dialogue and some doesn't. The advantage of this model is that the student can cooperate and communicate before they solve their assignment individually. The written math exam is in 2 parts. The first part is in 1 hour, is an exam without any help. It is an online self-correcting exam. The student logs in with their Unilogin, which is a special login every student has in Denmark, so they can be identified correctly. It is an advantage for the teachers who avoid spending time correcting all the assignments. And in the second part of the math exam, which is 3 hours, the students are allowed to use any kind of exam aids. As I understood, the mandatory exams in Denmark are quite different from German exams, especially the oral Danish exam and the oral science exam. I will therefore now explain to you how to practice these 2 exams in Denmark. At the oral Danish exam, the teachers can decide if. At the oral Danish exam, the teacher can decide if the exam should be in Form A or Form B. The decision is discussed with the headmaster and the students in August, and there will be most of a year to prepare the students to take the exam in the selected form. Form A is rather traditional. The students shows up at the exam, drag a topic, prepare the topic in 40 minutes, and then goes to the exam, which is a dialogue between teacher and student in approximately 20 minutes, where an external censor is present. After the exam, the censor and the teacher votes, and the student gets a character. Form B has been practiced in Denmark since 2006. The students drag a topic about a month before the exam. The student is free to choose to work individually or in groups for the exam. The students got 10 tutoring hours from the teacher. On this basis, they prepare a synopsis. 2 weeks before the date of exam, the synopsis will be sent to the external censor. When the day for the exams arrive, the students will present their topic in 10 minutes, and there will be a dialogue between the students and the teacher for about approximately 10 minutes. An external censor is also present at this exam. After the exam, the censor and the teacher votes, and the students gets their character. The character can be individually, even if the students has been working in a group. Maybe I should tell you a little bit more about the external censor. In Denmark, the schools are cooperating at the exams. The schools are divided into different groups in the communities, and the headmaster or the vice president headmaster from each school will participate in a meeting where the schools cooperate, so teachers from another school than our own is becoming a censor for our students and our teacher. The censor could also be an appointed censor from the ministry, and to all our oral exams in Denmark, we have external censors, either from schools in our neighborhood or censors sent from the ministry. For all censors apply that they teach in the same subject as the same grade as they are censoring. Finally, I'll tell you about the oral science exam. The exam contains 3 subjects: biology, geography, and physics chemistry. Around the 1st of April, the class will be divided in groups of 2 or 3 students. A student can choose to take the exam individually. Most students doesn't. Each group will drag a topic and they will have at least a month to prepare the exam. They will have access to all the material, the classroom, and they can achieve guidance from the teacher. There will be 2 groups of students to exam at the same time. An external censor and the teacher will also be in the classroom. When the exam begins, the students will hand out a presentation for the exam and tell censor and teacher about the presentation. The next 2 hours, the students will work in the classroom, and the teacher and censor will be present, ask questions, and see how the students cooperate and communicate. When the 2 hours is gone, the teacher and the censor will vote, and the students will get their character. Character can also in this exam be individual, even though the students works in groups. When we think it is important to work with the 21st century skills, I think it is a pleasure that our students also will be examined in a way where they can see why it is important to use the 21st century skills in practice. This is the way we work in companies in Denmark, and therefore it is important for all of us that our young people can practice through communication and collaboration. Thanks for listening.